And welcome back to the final game of day one. As Froskuren so rightly pointed out, it is Origin on a 7-game losing streak. Disregard the names at the top of your screen. It is G2 versus OG. And the all-time record between these organizations is 18 wins to 3 losses in favor of G2 Esports.
That's a pretty lopsided head-to-head, if you do ask me here. Now, getting into this game, Origin started off splitting up, bringing their duo lane up towards the top side of the map. I was actually really hoping they would go for some sort of level 1 play, because with the Olaf level 1, as you'll recall too, there is the ability to make stuff happen. And specifically Cold in this matchup up against Jankos, I do want to see him trying to split the map in some way and trying to, go for invades like we saw in our last game. It was a very, very strong start that wasn't ultimately executed upon, but I think there's definitely room to do it in a match like this.
But it looks like it is going to be a bot side start for both junglers. Yanko starting on his red, Cold onto his blue, so potential pathing and setup here for a top side gank.
Yeah, what'll ultimately end up happening here is Cold probably goes for a full clear, get that level 4, and then maybe look to protect top side around the same time that Jankos would be in this lane, because as we mentioned, this is a potentially vulnerable lane, especially because Wonder with the bear trap on the rope does provide good gank CC.
So the question I'm then going to have for you is, how do these lanes play out while the junglers are building up for the next few minutes? We've seen Corki Azir a bajillion times, so I don't want to go into it, but the Yasuo Gragas for Perks and Mickey, it is something that we've heard was banned a lot because of the performance they had in scrims. So Frost, that in combination with Kled versus Jax, where do you want to start in terms of how these lanes are going to play out?
I mean, the scary thing about Yasuo and Gragas is anytime that you see it, there's always going to be a break point where feels like they have kill pressure on anyone. It feels like with having the Guardian on Rakan and then having very mobile, very safe champions for Patrick and Mithy, they're just trying to absorb a lot of that pressure. Level 4 is kind of the big window for me, but obviously if someone just absolutely mispositions, Yasuo and Gragas can make a lot of damage 2 to 3.
They definitely can. Now, I would like to check in on the top lane very briefly, because what we did see was Alphari taking very forward trades against the Kled at level 1 with the Counter-Strike, assuming that if he can dismount the Kled and then get access to his leaf, it's a very heavy kill threat in that lane. So Wonder had to back away from the lane and allow Alphari to get this big push.
Oh, while that's going on, Wonder's going to be able to get Skarl back from the bushes just as Alphari leapt forward and looked for the counter-strike. So pressure up in the top lane, Cold and Jankos, they're going to be shadowing this top lane.
And I also like the fact that Nukeduck's taking this big window where he knows that both junglers will be topside to go hyper-aggressive on Caps here and really chunk him out underneath this tower.
Yeah, so right now, Cold has a lot of support from his lanes. Yes, Alphari did go back to base, but they had the push. So he's able to sit here inside of the river and clear away this Scuttle Crab. At the same time, Jankos was not able to go ahead and start up his Gromp. And this is going to be especially poor for him, because on his second clear through the jungle, this Gromp will still be level 1, meaning it gives significantly reduced experience, especially because Jankos is going to be much higher level than that camp.
And I also want to shout out to Mithy here as he trades some blows with Mickey. He used this time to wander up and place a ward right underneath Jankos' Raptor camp. They know that Jankos is in this bottom river.
Well, let's take a look what happens as Jankos now finds a flash from Patrick. The cocoon, while it finds the target, the flash was instantaneous, and Nukeduck is going to TP back to mid lane.
That's a bit.
Yikes.
So
what is it specifically? Like, is it just the fact they even walked into the river?
Well, you saw Yanko's path on the through the Raptor camp. I'll hold it though.
We will indeed. The bear trap on a rope is going to dissuade Cold from going any further, and Skarl was not able to get proc.
Right, so right now, because Jankos was spotted bot lane, yes, he got the flash, and that's a big win for him. But right now, the wave in top is absolutely miserable for Wonder. There's so many ranged minions that it is going to be pushing back in towards Alphari. So you notice Jankos' early pathing, he goes straight back towards this top lane off the reset to try and help bounce this wave. That means push it all the way into the tower and let it reset. But there is an important ward inside the lane from Alphari that should see Jankos if he comes for this.
Oh, but he went underneath it. He hasn't been spotted.
No, he hasn't, but there's a fight in the bottom lane. Mithy's going to be able to dash away towards Patrick. The cocoon onto Cold has done so much damage. That's a flash forward. The rappel comes down. Alphari's looking for Jankos. Defensive flash away. A little Spiderling gets killed. Nobody dies yet.
Action across the map, however.
Oh, Collapse is going very low. Flash available to him. Nukeduck is get pushed away, and no, Jankos not going to be able to come in.
Such a bold maneuver from Jankos there, but he's now pathing towards that mid lane. I think he wants to get involved with this. Doesn't have access to flash, so if he looks for the dive, very risky play. Either that or he's trying to find Cold pathing back.
Yeah, and Cold has still not gone back to base just yet. Finally going to get that reset off now. Jankos comes in from the side. Nukeduck will have to flash.
Yeah, Nukeduck's so low on mana as well. Just enough to get over the wall. Blast Cone's available to him. Nobody's leaving the bottom lane. And beautiful defensive play across the rift.
Yeah, very well to disengage from that. Again, Jankos looking for a hyper-aggressive play. The fact that he just flashed and went for the dive top lane and then cleanly passed, knowing that Cold has been forced out of the jungle to get behind Nukeduck.
Yeah, so Jankos does win that trade there, and of course applies a lot of pressure to the mid lane, but Cold should come out of this with a pretty hefty experience advantage, because again, Jankos is just clearing his Raptors for the first time. The Gromp camp that we mentioned earlier is still at level 1, so he's going to be a little bit behind in terms of overall experience, especially now because he's also going to be skipping out on that Krug camp, which means that Cold gets to have this very clean path bot to top and get a big clear.
Oh man, Alfari's doing such a good job. 200 hit points, 100 hit points underneath the tower.
No!
Alfari over chases, cannot get the last auto, and Wonder gets first blood.
Disaster, overzealous, overreaches, and Wonder punishes him for him. It was going so well for Alfari.
It was looking so good. It felt like Alfari really sort of understood how to play into Kled. He was getting favorable trades, but Ender just messing up that last auto.
Yeah, I mean, he greeds underneath the tower going for the flash. Of course, Wonder's flash came through first, which meant that there was no way Alfari could actually make that trade work out. All of a sudden, this top lane shifts significantly.
All right, so we're looking at this. This is the pro view from the perspective of Wonder. I
didn't even
want
say anything.
Listen, I mean, you can't, right, when you're under that pressure. Really nicely done, and just no panic at all.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part is that Alfari actually played it really nicely. He held his counter-strike until Wonder came out of the dismount. That's exactly what you need to be doing in this type of matchup, but as we said, just a little bit too much greed.
Now seeing setup, however, it's a reset from both junglers. You can see that Jankos is going to take his reset right now, whereas Cold has advantage to getting early on to the map. So with this added time where Jankos isn't in position to make a play, what does Cold go for? Happens to be the card camp.
All right, so Cold is now approaching level 6. Got himself that Chilling Smite accrued, with the exception of Wonder being up 10 CS for now and that kill. It's pretty much even across the rest of the map. But take a look at this, level 6, instantaneous engage on Mithy, flash forward from Perks, and he manages to find a beautiful kill, combining absolutely every combo. There was no hesitation on the body slam into ultimate from Perks.
Also, EXP mismatch there. The fact that Mickey was level 4 when that engage started, which allowed Perks to get the level 6 since his support wasn't in the lane, and Patrick and Mithy didn't have access to their ultimates.
Okay, Betrap on a rope is doing a lot of work here. Skarl is also going to help Wonder out. He's going to try use that jousting to get to safety. Skarl comes down, pocket pistol by some distance. Wonder's running for his life, and this should be the kill. Managed to secure. Skarl was milliseconds away from coming in, but Perks once again gets a kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Patrick was still isolated down bot lanes. The teams go tit for tat right there. Wonder almost able to turn it in that 1 versus 2, but ultimately it's still G2 that went out across the map.
And now Nukeduck in trouble.
Ooh, just gets out of range of that cocoon. A little bit more mana this time round. Got his flash available to him. G2 Esports 3 kills to 1. Got themselves a 1,400 gold lead, and Jankos will try to steal the Sentinel.
Yeah, just trying to constantly punish when they get information that Cold is on top side. So not only the bot lane dive where Perks picks up the kill, but now also stealing away the blue buff.
Yeah, and the next play I expect to see from Jankos after his reset is path through clears jungle and then probably set up for an early Drake because of the control they've generated through this bottom lane. Again, Jankos actually passed all the way around right here, and still the stun came through off that body slam. What you gonna do but die?
Yeah, it's just real challenge, and of course when there's a giant minion wave for Perks to just use the sweeping blade to chase through, it sets it up so easily. Perks has got himself the Kershi Shard, Zeal, Berserker's Greaves, and a 70 CS accrued at the 9.5 minutes mark. And this is already looking a little bit scary. This G2 have just got so many tools in their kits to dive forward and make proactive plays.
I think it's very scary for Origin right now across from this Yasuo and Gragas combination. It feels like Perks is especially going to have the confidence, but anytime that Exhaust is up to look for the kills, that's a very far trip from home, Wonder.
It is.
He's okay because he can ult out.
Yeah, he's got himself the Goro build with 3 long swords and a Doran's blade. Maybe he's trying to arm Skarl as well. Ended up using the charge defensively. A little bit of an optimistic cocoon there from Jankos, but Mickey's getting very close to level 6, and the final breath from Perks is available for a potential another engage.
Yeah, so from G2, I believe there was calls down bottom lane saying we can look for an engage relatively soon because Jankos has forsaken his top side camps for a very long time. He spent a ton of time hovering around this bottom side of the map. And now with that pressure, Mickey and Perks have just left bot lane. They're looking for a gank mid.
Okay, let's see if this works out. Mickey and Patrick are making their way up. Are they bold enough? Oh, that's so good! The displacement from the package is all that's needed. Caps is still going to be able to escape. He's got flash if necessary. Perks gets caught underneath the tower. He manages to stay alive just a few seconds longer. Not until Mickey takes him down. I think maybe with the Ignite. Cold is Ragnarocking away to safety. Here comes Patrick. He takes a barrel roll to the face, and now the mid tower is under siege.
Just an unreal play there from G2, going 2 for 1 in the overall trade, and Alfari not going to fully commit for this roam down towards the mid lane. OG give up.
And where there's smoke, there's fire. It was expertly set up before they went for the dive by the 3 control wards because they've had absolute control since Perks and Mickey have just been flexing on Patrick and Mithy down here. Full control of the bottom side river that allowed them to place those control wards to catch Nuke Duck by surprise.
And look at that, using the package to set up for the Yasuo ultimate. Beautiful stuff.
And I think Mickey also did the flash body slam, so even if the Valk hadn't connected, there was going to be follow-up. Now you know
that cast is so good
burned.
too, right? Like they landed on towards Mickey. I think he would have liked to pick off Cold there as well, but ultimately still get the flash out of the Origin jungler. So even when it's Perks going down, giving up the shutdown, it's still a 1-for-1.
This is just yet again consistently beautiful League of Legends from G2 Esports. They're the #1 team in the league right now. They're under no pressure to keep showing all these different things, yet they still are. They're innovating. They've got the Kled, they've got that Yasuo Gragas that we've seen banned so many times. And that's what we come to expect from this team. When they don't do this, then I'm going to start getting worried. But I am starting to get a little nervous for Origin. You know, Alfari's once again going for an engage, but they're 5-5 now. And they're already falling significantly behind G2 Esports.
But Origin are playing with the numbers advantage since Cold's down here. They're trying to then use that numbers advantage to take complete control over this jungle, and you constantly see Nuke Duck cheating down because they're either looking for Mickey and Perks to overstep, get picked off, or they want control over this Mountain Dragon where they can secure it. That's a TP top from Azir.
It is indeed. When we cut to the fight, Alfari's going low, Wonder's running for his life. Jankos forced to zone away as well. Flash for flash, Alfari can't find it. Caps has joined the fray thanks to the teleport. True shot barrage, not gonna tag him, but here comes Jankos. Look for the cocoon, flashed away by Nuke Duck. Caps has got a lot of hit points to work with. The big one's being loaded up and charged. The counter strike locks him down. Caps blows him up. The fangs are sunk in, and the missiles bring him down.
And this is so devastating for Origin. Look how much they expended into that play. They were trying to set up around the Mountain Drake. They have all of the wards over it. They were playing with the mid lane priority. They were constantly cheating in. By going for that TP play to try to make something out of what Alfari was trying to create, they lose so much in return.
And even worse, that's the lane that's supposed to be working for them. Now Perks going for the 1v1, but it's about to be a 1v3.
For it, Cold and Mithy are coming down. Flash is available to Perks. Sweeping Blade as well. Can he outplay the CC? Insta charm! Very good reaction from Mithy. Just waiting for the control, for the contact from the champion.
Yeah, nicely played there to make sure that Perks had no ability to escape from that play. They're also going to be getting some money off the plates on that bottom lane turret. Just everything they need right now, because right now the game was starting to spiral out of their control.
This can be really scary, however. Caps has a completed Trinity Force. He's sitting 3, 0, and 1 onto this Corki. Yeah, I think Origin definitely need to respect G2 poking their heads in here.
Okay, Mithy should be shut down here. Oh, good flash to get away and actually just sidestep the final mission. That's such a good cocoon. Alfari gets shut down before he can engage. True shot barrage comes out. The dragon is secure, but another missile to the face. Now here comes the charge. Nuke Duck's going to be able to evade. Mickey's going to use the speed up for now. Caps will look to steal away the blue buff.
Now they did get, or Origin did get the dragon. However, G2 will now take the blue buff. They have priority over the mid lane. They can now rotate in, and I think overall Origin are actually going to lose out a lot more in the extended measure of this play.
Yeah, because right now G2 continue to move inside of the jungle and just zone Nuke Duck away from the tower.
Wow, Pobel to chime in. Corki Azir, Corki Azir, Corki Azir. It's Corki that is winning this matchup right now. Just to quickly put some things into perspective, in the previous game, when Jizuke played the Corki against Humanoid's Azir, he ended 15 minutes with a +8 CSD. We're not even at 15 minutes yet, and Caps, maybe the best player in the West, is sitting with a +12 CS and a 5-0-2 score.
I'm just going to say, counterpoint.
Yes.
Nuke Duck was camped.
Okay,
just
fair.
counterpoint.
Very fair. I would prefer to leave the context out so my stat is more true.
Your stat looks impressive.
That's why I get protected by my analysts. Thank you, Frosco. Scarl is going to get popped as Wonder's under pressure. Nukeduck puts down the Empress Divide, and here comes the engage from Perks. It's yet another kill. The 11th in 15 minutes. Gragas Barrel is just about available, and Body Slam could get him over the wall. Do G2 fancy any further chases? And the answer's no.
Nope. Origin keep trying to match the pace of G2, though, but G2 are better at their own game. Caps is split pushing down to that bottom lane, picking up the turret, while the rest of the team is willing to get down and dirty and continue to win these fights.
Oh, I wondered if Perks was going to follow that with that breath of his, but he didn't. He's still sitting on the static shiv, by the way, and a whole boatload of cash, 1,500 in his coffers.
Because there's no reason to try to overextend for a play like that. You have Caps, who is just pushing in the bot lane, and as long as Perks and Mickey actually just stay alive here, them being around dissuades Origin from committing to the Rift Herald, and they allow Jankos to then get back into position, so G2 can now start exerting some of their force around this Herald.
What are your guys' opinions of, like, reviewing Origin's performances this weekend? As I've mentioned already, for me, against G2 and Fnatic, this is a taste of what could happen in playoffs, and for me, these are important games. Do you share that sentiment, knowing that, you know, OG was 6-6 at this point, lost split, and still made finals?
I mean, the concern for Origin fans that this team, after Spring's, okay, Caps is just trying to kill Patrick in a 1v2 underneath a tower. That's not okay, and that's probably concerning for Origin fans.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Frost seems to be dying and falling on top of the monitor. What's your take on the situation?
You know, like, Patrick, who expects that? Caps just rocks up with his package. He's got the wards around him. He's like, I can do this. This is totally fine. He could have killed Patrick there.
Yeah, he could have. That was definitely the, no, this is Patrick, as he's being just picked away from. I mean, it's definitely the case, right? But I mean, 5,000 gold lead, 11 kills to 3, 2 towers to 0. Like, this is just what you expect from G2OG. It feels inevitable.
You have to update your gold stat because it's about to get worse.
Haven't answered the question, Frosco. Do you put a lot of importance on this weekend's games?
I mean, I guess I would have to take the team line and say no, that it's a best of one, that ultimately Origin's line consistently has been, we will be ready in time for playoffs. Now, do I think that that's a bit of a cop-out answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you're the best team, like G2 have proven themselves, you can win in the best of one. You don't need to wait to the best of 5 to turn it on. That said, Origin are also across from G2, and G2 does this to every team they face.
That is also true. You have to reevaluate the equation. The Rift Herald, by the way, has now been summoned up in this top lane. And we'll get a boop onto the tower. I wonder if one day G2 will try to get the Dancing Rift Herald. It hasn't happened many times in the past. And it just seems like the kind of thing that team would want to play.
Surely
for.
they've done it before.
I don't think on broadcast anyway. To my knowledge. I think to my knowledge, Fnatic are the only ones that have.
Did they do it to TL?
We'll have to double check. I mean, I'd have to double check that. I don't recall at the top of my head.
Rift Herald wasn't the only one dancing that.
Well, exactly the case. But I mean, look at the items. Rapid Fire Cannon, Trinity Force, 502 for Caps and 170 CS. BF Sword as well as Ruby Crystal picked up for Perks in the bottom lane. He's got the Static Shiv. And while Patrick is farming up his second items, how far he's going to fancy another shot here, but I don't think he's been able to catch Wonder.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I just want to compare the itemization of our two mid laners in this game. On one hand, you have Azir, you know, doing pretty well. You got your Lost Chapter, you got a little Stinger. So that's 2 completed items, right? Right?
No, that's thrift shopping.
You don't think so? Okay, yeah. That's because Caps right now has a full Trinity Force and Rapid Fire. That's absolutely disgusting, the difference between those two.
He's been farming champions as well as he's farming minions.
Look at the gold, that's 4K almost.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you, but they're looking at a dive. Now, Nukeduck does see this, and Mithy is kiting around behind because he's trying to look delicious. He's like, I'm fried chicken. Dive me, I dare you.
Yeah, but what is the response? I mean, Miffy is waiting in the wings. While that's happening, by the way, dive up top. So it is a skirmish on multiple fronts. Wonder's going to be able to survive for a few seconds longer. Down in the bottom lane, the fight continues. Scarl has been proc. Teleport coming in. Wonder's going to try to get up the wall. Pocket pistol sends him over the wall. Unmounted. Kled manages to escape. Caps is now in trouble. No, he's not. We flick over to the fight, and Caps gets a double kill.
Absolutely unreal right there. The late TP to enter into the fight. Wonder somehow makes that alive, and then just one auto attack is the only difference between Caps living and dying.
Yeah, huge credit to Wonder, the fact that he's able to get over the wall, but Mithy is desperate. Can he get something?
Let's take a look. Final breath being held on to. Mickey stays alive a few seconds longer. By the way, Jankos was able to pick up the dragon, and the second kill that Origin have secured is the fadeaway onto Mickey. and it just doesn't feel like it really matters. This replay brought to you by Alienway.
Yeah, we'll see this one more time because OG, they see 4 people bot lane. It's a 2v1 situation up here, so of course they try to get this kill on towards Wonder, but he delays so much time flashing over the wall right here and then using the Q from his range swarm to pop over the wall the same time Alfari gets in here. It's just beautiful stuff from him to stay alive for Caps to come in and clean up.
I can only think of there's a song, I don't know if anyone knows it, the Lemon Tree. It's like I wonder.
This is another old.
Is that like
It is,
60s or 70s?
But I'm going to modify the lyrics just for a second, and please
Or are
indulge
you?
me, right? But it's like, I wonder how, I wonder why they tried to kill me under the top lane tower, and Claps teleported in to make them cry. I bailed out of singing because it's awful, and I didn't want to get clipped out.
I think you
That was the worst song
It was
ever.
so bad. What I will do is I'll actually try and make it for Twitter for later, but not in game. It's 20 minutes in, guys. It's 8,000 gold up. And the morale in the OG camp has to be shattered. But I'm just continually impressed by how G2 are moving around the map. They're still taking towers, they're still taking dragons, and they're still just killing Origin in every opportunity. And Patrick, they didn't dive him last time, but they did this time.
Yeah, the long-range cast there then procs the Yasuo ultimate, so they're able to pick him off there. It felt like what Origin were trying to do is set up a potential pick when G2 were walking into the area to place down deep vision. Unfortunately, G2 expertly moved in all together, so there was never going to be an opportunity to get an unfair, advantageous fight for Origin.
Oh my word, that damage. Mickey and Caps almost kill Nukeduck before he can do anything. The first tower that Origin secures down in the bottom lane is Alfari with his Trinity Force. We're now 21.5 minutes. Baron is secured, and man, you just keep looking forward and you just keep thinking, where does G2 stop? Because they haven't really shown anything 9-14 wise. The Yasuo Gragas we've known has been a thing for a while, and while Kled is new-ish, right? It's also something that you anticipate and expect Wonder to have in his wheelhouse.
And it's also the fact that this has been a very clean game. I feel like a lot of that really started out with Yanko, so huge credit to him getting that early game rolling. In terms of what Origin were trying to hope to do is stall out this potential Baron, allow Alfari to continue to play these side lanes, get more confident in them, but G2 puts you on a clock and they never show up late.
Yeah, I do like to see how G2 try to close out these games because it's not every day you get a 21-minute Baron, but when you do, your name is probably G2.
Yeah.
And they're just grouping up 5 people in the mid lane, right? Wonder went down bottom lane, even though there was a way for him to pick up. The initial play was, can we move 5 mid? Can we get a pick and just break the base?
And one of the nice things about Gragas as a champion is it feels like in a Corki Azir meta where you're just constantly shoving farm into them and you just boringly watch them clear it. Gragas threatens teams under towers because he can use the ultimate to scoop them off of it.
Yeah, and look, even with 2 towers in the mid lane, they still stay mid lane. Alfari is pushing bot lane, but it's so slow, G2 can just walk up and smack this tower.
And also add on to the fact that you've got an Elise in the jungle, and Gragas plus Elise,
Bye-bye.
the threat is immense. Then when you want to get to this point where you want to force an objective, Kled's ultimate breaks open the base. Alfari is faffing about with minions, and it doesn't matter. Nukeduck goes down, and G2, they're looking for the win.
Yeah, this might just be game over right now. They still have cooldowns. Patrick gets exploded, and they're on the next tower.
Mickey and Perks, if they wanted to, could tower dive the fountain. G2 have a penchant for diving the fountain for kills. 15 in 23. Explosive cast has been used. Nobody was knocked up though. There goes Mickey in for the chase. I'm waiting to see if Perks gets the final breath. There's the re-engage. The stun instantaneously. Perks gets yet another. Cold and Alfari are running for their lives. Perks finally uses the ultimate. The Nexus has been killed by the Winions as all of a sudden Nukeduck has respawned from his earlier death. There is a teleport available here for Wonder to come back into the fray as he's doing. Titanic Hydra. Black Cleaver has now been picked up. We're only 23 minutes into the game. The Nexus has still not been taken down yet. Finally is the focus. There go G2 looking for kills under the fountain. Maybe the bear trap on a rope was to get people out of the fountain. The Nexus goes down.